All right, welcome. We're diving into a full, step-by-step guide on how to install a submersible pump the right way for any Saudi Aramco project. We're going to cover everything from the first piece of paper to the final sign-off, making sure your work gets done safely, efficiently, and gets accepted the very first time. So before we even touch a tool or look at a pump, let's talk about the single most important thing. What's the number one rule? It's not about the pump's power. It's not about the size of the pipe. The number one rule, the one that makes or breaks your entire job, is all about getting the process and the prep work right from the start. Okay, so here's how we're going to tackle this. First, we'll cover the rules and the paperwork. Then we'll get the sump pit ready. After that, it's the step-by-step installation. Next up, testing to make sure everything works perfectly. And finally, we'll cover the official handover to Aramco. Simple as that. Let's jump in. The foundation of a good job, a job that doesn't get rejected, well, it isn't the concrete you pour, it's the paper you have in your hand. Getting all your documents in order before you start is the absolute blueprint for success. I want you to think of these 5 documents as your most important tools. You wouldn't start without a wrench, right? Well, you can't start without these. You need the fully approved pump data sheet, the issued for construction or IFC drawings, the method statement, your inspection and test plan, the ITP, and the risk assessment. All approved, all in your hands. No exceptions. And let me be crystal clear about this. This is not a suggestion. It's a hard and fast rule from Saudi Aramco's QA/QC. Following this rule is what saves you from doing the work twice, from delays, and from the frustration of getting rejected. It's that simple. All right, paperwork is sorted. Now let's head over to the site. It's time to prep the workspace. You know, a clean, properly prepared sump pit is the key to an installation that goes off without a hitch. Now, this isn't just about sweeping up. This is your first quality check. The pit has to be spotless. No dust, no junk, no water. Then you gotta verify that the concrete base is level and flat, the drain has the right slope, and that the access area is totally clear for safety. Only when all that is done do you raise that inspection request, or IR, to your QC team. And this right here, this is what we call a critical hold point. All work stops. You absolutely, positively cannot lower that pump into the pit until the QC engineer has come to the site, inspected everything, and signed off on your IR. That signature is your green light. Don't move without it. Okay, green light is on. The pit is approved, so now we can get to the main event, the installation. We're going to break this down into a very specific sequence. You have to follow these steps in order. Here's the sequence. It's 4 stages. First, carefully lower the pump in. And listen, use a crane or a chain block. Never ever lift it by its electrical cable. Second, install all the discharge piping, and we'll talk about the exact order in a second. Third, complete all your electrical terminations. And fourth, you'll do a quick rotation and trial run test. I need you to really pay attention here. This is probably one of the most common and most expensive mistakes people make. If you get the piping order wrong, it's an automatic rejection. This sequence is not a suggestion. It cannot be changed. So let's walk through it. Coming right off the pump outlet, the very first thing you install is the flexible connector. This is crucial. It absorbs vibration. Next up is the non-return valve, or NRV, which stops any backflow. Then comes your isolation valve so you can do maintenance. After that, any pressure gauges you need. And finally, you connect to the main header. And here's a pro tip. Always check the little arrow on the NRV. Make sure it's pointing away from the pump in the direction of the flow. That simple check will save you a world of trouble. Now for the electrical side. Safety and doing it right are everything here. You have to verify your grounding is solid, check the phase sequence to make sure the motor spins the right way, make sure that cable gland is watertight and tight, and finally, you have to perform an installation resistance test, what we call a mega test, and you must write down the results in your report. So the pump's in, it's all wired up, but we're not done yet. Not even close. Now comes the part where we have to prove that our installation actually works and meets the tough standards that Aramco sets. Look at this table. This is your scorecard. This is what success looks like. When you do the big performance test, your numbers have to hit these targets. You need at least 95% of the design flow and head. Your motor's current draw can't be more than 105% of what it's rated for. And of course, 0 weird vibrations or noises. It has to run smooth. All right, let's bring it all home. We've done the physical work, we've proved that it performs. Now, the last step is to tie it all together with the final documents you need for the official handover. But first, let's look at how things go wrong. These are the classic mistakes that get work rejected instantly. Putting the NRV in backwards, forgetting the flexible connector, lowering the pump before that QC approval, not having a record of your megger test. You'd be surprised, but even installing the wrong model of pump happens. And finally, not having your as-built drawings ready. Avoid these and you're golden. And here it is, the finish line. The job is officially 100% done only when this complete package of documents is submitted and signed off by Aramco. That means your as-builts, the O&M manuals, a spare parts list, and of course, the signed commissioning and acceptance certificates. If you take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. The physical work you do on site and the paperwork are equally important. Your job isn't finished when you tighten the last bolt. It's finished when that final document is approved. So, think about it. Can you honestly say yes to all parts of that question? Because being able to say yes with confidence to safety, to the process, and to the paperwork, that's what makes you a pro on an Aramco project. Mastering these steps doesn't just make your life easier, it guarantees the quality of the entire project for years to come.